All right, let's talk about quad strains. So when we're talking about quad strains, basically what we're talking about is a micro tear. Could be a micro tear, could be a little bit more serious, either in the muscle fibers of the quadriceps muscle group themselves, or what happens very often is where the quadriceps muscles connect to those associated tendons. So what we need to keep remembering is as the body is healing, what's happening is it's reconnecting those fibers, right? Healthy new fibers are growing. So as they're growing, we need to make sure that they stay pliable, stable, and strong. And we do that by approaching recovery in very specific phases. Phase one is the basic phase. We are just trying to get blood flow to the area. The life is in the blood, so everything that your body needs to heal is coming to that area through the bloodstream. So the more we can get circulation going, the better your body can recover. Phase two is after we've built up some basic gentle mobility, we've got blood flowing, now we can start to apply some resistance, some weights, some resistance bands, that kind of thing where we are challenging the muscle. So again, as these come together, they build in a way that is strong as well as pliable and stable, so you're not going to get injured again. So let's start with phase one. Phase one exercise number one before you do anything else. All right, it is called an elephant walk. You can either do it with your hands on a chair, a couch, a table, whatever you have access to. If you want to go all the way down to your elbows, you can. And very gently, you're just going to bend both knees and then straighten one at a time. Bend both and straighten. Bend both and straighten. So what this is doing is giving a little bit of gentle movement to the muscles, getting blood flow glowing. We are also making sure that the hamstrings stay nice and pliable and don't tense up, because sometimes our body overcompensates when one part is injured and we don't want any muscle imbalance. For this second exercise, you want to come to a seated position with a nice flat back, and you want something under your ankles. So it can be a foam roller, it can be a towel, it can be a book, whatever you have, just something to challenge you a little bit to keep it lifted. Now again, only do this when you can do it without pain. If there's still pain doing this, back off from this one right now. So just stick with the elephant walks. All right, so from here, you're going to engage these quadricep muscles and lift, hold, and lower. I would do about 3 sets of 10 on each side. Again, we don't want any muscle imbalance, so make sure you're doing them evenly. For the third exercise in phase one, what you're going to do is you're very simply just going to place your hand on your knee, and we're going to do an isometric exercise. So in this exercise, you're going to drive your knee up into your hand, hold, and release. Drive, hold, and release. And as you do that, what you'll feel is the quadricep muscles working by themselves to engage, to push that knee into your hand and release. For phase two, we're going to start with a single leg banded march, and you can do this a couple ways. I will start by showing you the easiest way, which is lying on the ground, and I am using a resistance band. If you don't have a resistance band, you can take a towel, anything that you can tie around the arches of your feet, just to give you a little bit of resistance so your muscles have to work a little bit harder. Then you're going to come onto your back, and from here, you're going to drive that knee up towards your chest and hold, and release, and hold, and release, and hold, and release. And just like the other one, make sure that you're doing that on both sides. I would say about 3 sets of 10 for that one. When you are able to put full weight on that standing leg without pain, then you can move on to this one. So you're going to take that resistance band, towel, whatever you have that you can tie securely around the arches of your feet. Come to about hip width distance apart with your feet, and from here, same thing. You're going to drive that knee up into your chest and hold. Drive it up and hold. For your next exercise in phase two, you're going to take that resistance band or towel, whatever you have, loop it around the leg of the chair and then your ankle. You're going to sit with your knees comfortably positioned over your ankles, and then you're going to extend that leg forward and hold. Only go as far as you can go without pain. And this is bringing the leg into leg extension with some resistance, which will start to build up some more stability and strength in those quadricep muscles. The final exercise of phase 3 is one of my absolute favorites for quad strength and stability. It's known as the $1,000,000 knee exercise. You may have also heard it called the Poliquin step downs or step ups. It was created by Charles Poliquin, who was an incredible strength coach. So I'm going to show you 2 ways to do it. To begin with, you're going to start on flat ground, and then you're going to progress to elevation. So you can use a slant board like I have here, a step, a book, anything like that you have. The basic principle of the motion is, if you think about when you're running downhill, right, what is it that decelerates that motion? It's our quad. It's that movement of the knee driving out over the toes and that quad engaging to slow us down. So that's what we're going to mimic in this exercise. So if you're doing it on flat ground, and then you're going to drive this knee out over this toe to where the heel touches and come back. So you really want that forward, like you're coming down a hill movement right here. And then when that you can do comfortably without pain, then we're going to progress to elevation. Again, you can do this on a step, whatever you have that's nice and stable. Same thing, you're going to drive that knee forward, out over that toe, just so the heel taps down, and come back up. And I would start with 3 sets of 10 on those. Again, make sure to do both sides. You can do every other day on those. These are really good short range exercises, which means that you want to do more of them because it has more to do with the muscle brain connection. And so what you're going to do is increase the volume on them as you're ready to do that. So start with 3 sets of 10, and then you can increase from there to 15, 20, 25, whatever you can comfortably do without pain. When those start feeling easy, then you can add some load by starting to hold weights in your hands, holding on if you need to really, again, build up that strength, challenge that quad muscle in a way that increases the stability, so that as you're returning to dancing, that you don't end up getting injured again in the same way, because now the muscle is nice and stable and strong. Happy dancing!